segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Tunnell and Raysor.
Well, most of us have been affected by an automobile accident in one way or another.
Maybe a friend or a loved one's been injured. Maybe you were the one that was in an accident. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports there were more than 5 million motor vehicle crashes in 2011. That's the most recent data available. The CDC reports almost 3 million people were treated in the emergency room after being in a motor vehicle crash. And there are many reasons for these accidents. Distracted driving, drunk driving, driving under the influence of other drugs. Whatever the reason, the CDC reports motor vehicle crashes cost us $99 billion each year in medical care, rehabilitation, and lost wages.
There's something else that can cost a lot of money in these types of accidents and other accidents for that matter: punitive damages. The Bureau of Justice Statistics studied cases from 2005 and found that punitive damages were awarded in 5% of the trials where plaintiffs prevailed. The median punitive damage award, $64,000. Now, although 13% of cases with punitive awards had damages of $1 million or more. Would you know if you or your loved one were entitled to punitive damages, or even how the system works?
Well, joining us today to help answer those questions is attorney Jamie King with the law office of Tunnell and Raysor. Thanks for coming in, Jamie.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay, let's start with a very basic. What are punitive damages?
Punitive damages are, they're also categorized as exemplary damages, where there is a conscious disregard by the wrongdoer as to other people's safety. Willful or malicious conduct towards other people. Really the conscious disregard of other people's safety.
So we're not talking pain and suffering. We're talking about something that has been wrongfully done against someone.
Correct. The pain and suffering is your compensatory damages, and the punitives would kick in. It's a punishment towards that person as a result of the willful or malicious conduct. Yeah. The three-pronged approach really as to what punitive damages are meant to deter is to punish the actual wrongdoer, to deter that wrongdoer from similar conduct in the future, and to deter others from having that same conduct.
So there are different reasons why punitive damages might come into play.
Mm-hmm. And it's all on a case-by-case determination. Mainly, it really goes back to someone doing something and creating an injury to someone maliciously or willfully on that person.
Let's say take accidents as an example. What kind of?
A couple of examples on that. One would be if you were in an accident, you caused injury, and say you were 2 or 3 times the legal limit of your blood alcohol content. Okay. Someone doing that puts others at risk, consciously knowing that there is a risk there. Also, for example, maybe if you had epileptic seizures, right, and the doctor told you you can't drive, and you went out and drove and caused an injury to someone, it's that conscious disregard for that knowledge you have for not putting yourself into that position.
Known better.
And it's not just automobile accidents. What are some other incidents where punitive damages might be considered?
One of the big areas you see it is with products liability with big companies. They make an assessment like in a car recall situation. Where the financial analysis says it's cheaper for us to move forward and not fix it or not notify people, and then people are hurt in those situations. And as a result of that, to punish those companies, the punitive damages can be imposed.
Okay, so we've all heard of the famous hot coffee case. Were there punitive damages in that?
There were, and part of that is, as being a big company, one way to deter that conduct in the future is to impose a monetary sanction upon them. Okay.
Now, when it comes to punitive damages, is there a statute of limitations?
The statute of limitations is based on the underlying action. So in a personal injury case, your statute of limitations is 2 years. So the punitive damages as a result of that action would be 2 years in that case.
Are there maximums, caps?
No caps in Delaware. Maryland has some caps on non-economic damages and economic damages, so there's a little bit of a breakdown. Okay. And Virginia has some of those stipulations as well.
So it sounds like it could get a little bit complex once you get into the
absolutely
formulas. So the bottom line advice to someone would be
Contact your attorney.
Contact your attorney.
Yes,
All
get the
right.
straight answer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great to have
Pleasure
you.
being
And if
here.
you'd like more information on Tunnell and Raysor's areas of practice, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.
Well, still ahead on Delmarva Life, WWOC's Evan Kozloff stops by to take us inside a Laurel factory that's using state-of-the-art technology to help the construction industry.
And a little later, we have the winner of the American Baking Competition in the Delmarva Life kitchen today. Brian Emmett shares with us one of his signature dishes.
Plus, it has turned out to be one of Delmarva's favorite guessing games. Where is Brian? We're going to get 2 clues. Brian, we are ready for number 1.
Well, lucky for you, I just so happen to have my first clue. Here you go, clue number 1. The town was named after someone in Great Britain. Coming up a little later in the show, I'll have another clue and the big reveal.